Hey you guys, it's Crystal from the Abundantly Blessed Homestead, where we use the wisdom of our ancestors to make amazing, nourishing, delicious meals for our family and grow some of our own food. I am here in the pantry, which means they're going to be talking about food. So recently, one of you guys put a comment on one of my videos about wanting to discuss freezer meals that are in my cookbook. If you have not gotten this cookbook yet, the link is down in the description box. All you do is click the link, pay with whatever method you want to pay with, and I ship it right to you. This cookbook is packed with over 200 nutrient-dense recipes. Amazing, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go through this cookbook. I'm going to tell you which ones I have made as freezer meals and how you do that, all right? One of the questions that she had was, as far as when you're making some of the soup recipes out of my cookbook that contain cream, how do you prepare those for a freezer meal? So the answer is, when you're preparing any of these meals, there's one in here called cheeseburger soup, which is one of our favorites postpartum. It is on page 130, and basically you're going to make the soup the exact same way as you would make it if you're going to eat it right now, and you're just going to freeze it. And the reason why that cream doesn't get clumpy is because it's actually mixed with other things, in this case sour cream, cheddar cheese, cream cheese, and it's also mixed with butter and sprouted flour in this recipe. So what ends up happening is you actually have like a cheese sauce instead of just individual ingredients. For instance, sour cream, you can't freeze that because it ends up chunky. So any of my recipes inside my cookbook that call for a cream ingredient, as long as there's other ingredients in there, you should be just safe to go ahead and make the soup as is and then freeze it. And I think I've talked a couple of times in some of my other videos about how I make the soups. I let them completely cool, and then I put them into Ziploc bags and freeze them flat like a book. There's other options for freezing freezer meals in different types of containers, but that's just what works best for me. But once again, I let them get completely cool so that none of that plastic is leaching into your food. Okay, so then one specific recipe we had a question on was the Philly cheesesteak wraps. So that is, I'm getting the page here, hang on. All right, that's on page 94 of the cookbook, in case you guys are following along. So in this case, there are two ways to do it. Either one, you could saute everything and put it in a package and then just simply thaw and warm it up and have tortillas ready to go inside your freezer. Or you could chop all the ingredients up to saute, just dump it out of a freezer bag and saute it and then put it in your wraps. But the way I personally would do it is I would look for the recipe in my cookbook for the pizza pockets. It is on page 78 of my cookbook. And instead of putting pizza ingredients into those pizza pockets, I would put the quesadilla, the Philly cheesesteak quesadilla in the inside of that pizza pocket. And those pizza pockets are amazing. That's one of my #1 meals that I recommend to people to make for postpartum or for just a grab-and-go freezer meal, are the pizza pockets. That's on page 78. You just make them, you bake them, you cool them, you put them in a freezer bag, and into the freezer they go. And then simply preheat your oven to 350 degrees, put them on a baking sheet, and warm them up until they're the right temperature for you to eat. That's all there is to it. So that's what I would do with the Philly cheesesteak quesadilla. I would turn it into a pizza pocket, but it'd be a Philly cheesesteak pocket. One of the other meals that I love to make for freezer meals is on page 80. It's called rice-a-roni. You just make it like normal and freeze it. Rice freezes so very well. You don't have to worry about it. Another favorite is on page 82. It's beef enchilada casserole. Once again, you're making this and freezing it. No problem. Another one of our favorites are old-fashioned scalloped potatoes. So that's going to have a cheesy, creamy sauce as well. No problem. You just make it up and freeze it. Another one that's one of our favorites is on page 88. It's called salsa chicken casserole. That freezes really good. I've actually made that with other people for their freezer meals for postpartum. Freezes well, thaws well, and you're just going to make it just like normal, freeze it, and then all you have to do is warm it up. Super, super convenient. And then we have a couple others here that are some of our favorites for freezer meals. Another one that's another favorite would be the Mexican beef and rice skillet. You can make that ahead in a 13x9 pan and freeze it. That's on page 101. Once again, you're just making it and then thawing it out. And I think that's the last one I had with a mark in my cookbook. And then, like I said, the soups are, you just make them and freeze them and thaw them out. Warm them up inside a pan and then serve them. So those are super, super easy. But yes, I would look into changing that Philly cheesesteak into a pizza pocket and go from there, because it's basically the same ingredients, because the pizza pocket dough is made from a tortilla recipe. So go ahead and go check that out. Thank you for the questions, Haley. And I hope this helps more than just Haley. And once again, if you haven't purchased my cookbook, the link is down below. Go check it out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I am redoing my pantry. I'm currently making this video right now. I'm organizing and we're donating a bunch of food. So keep your eyes out for that video within the next couple days. All right, you guys take care. Thanks for watching.